Good day, everyone. So, for today's lesson, we are going to talk about the strengths and weaknesses of the Filipino character, a socio-cultural issue. But before anything else, allow me to introduce first our objectives for today's lesson. We have here at the end of this lesson, the students should be able to discuss the strengths and weaknesses of the Filipino character and cite ways by which schools can counteract these weaknesses of the Filipino character. So for our introduction, we have here schools are there for the society. Their relevance is proven by their ability to address socio-cultural problems. Schools can capitalize on the strengths of the Filipino character to eliminate the weaknesses. So how does school eliminate these weaknesses of us Filipinos? Schools simply just helps us and prepares us to fight for the challenges in life. In our curriculum, we have values education which teaches us to do good things, the morality, and to aspire a successful life and be a good citizen. So, schools helps us to know our strengths and weaknesses and be able to improve them to become a best version of ourselves. So later on, we'll further discuss these strengths and weaknesses of the Filipino character. So we have here the weaknesses of the Filipino character as cited in the report by Senator Leticia Shahani, a moral recovery program, Building a People, Building a Nation in 1998. The first one, we have extreme family-centeredness. Excessive concern for family means using one's office and power to promote family interests. An example of this is in politics. There are a lot of politicians out there who just wanted to be in the office or in the position because of their self-interest. They wanted to promote their platform for self-gain, and it has been a weakness of us Filipinos because if we have these people in our government, then our country will not prosper, which results in lack of concern for the common good kay gusto lang gani nila sila ray maka-benefit sa ilang position. So that's a kind of weakness and acts as a block to national consciousness.
Extreme personalism. Extreme personalism takes things personally, can separate objective tasks from emotional involvement. So, extreme personalism daw is kanang kinukuha mga bagay ng personal, maaring paghiwalayin ang mga layunin na gawain mula sa emosyonal na paglahok. Then, because of this, the Filipino is uncomfortable with bureaucracy, with rules and regulations, and with standard procedures. So, dahil daw dito ang mga Pilipino ay hindi komportable sa burokrasya, sa mga tuntunin at regulasyon sa mga karaniwang pamamaraan. So, bureaucracy means a system of government in which most the important decisions are made by state official rather than by elected representative. Then extreme personalism, he uses personal contact and gives preference to family and friends in hiring services and even voting. So, gumagamit siya ng mga personal na contact at nagbibigay ng kagustuhan sa pamilya at mga kaibigan sa pagkuha ng mga serbisyo at maging sa pagboto. Extreme personalism leads to the graft and corruptions evident in Philippine society. So, ang matinding personalism or personalismo ay umahantong sa pangangkam at katiwalian na makita sa lipunang Pilipino. The most extreme personalism, then the word in terms of personal relationship and extends to which one is able personally to relate to things and people determines our recognitions of their existence and value. Filipinos are sensitive and take things personally, which is a strength but at the same time can also create problems and be a weakness. The next is lack of discipline. So lack of discipline is a casual attitude toward time and space manifest in lack of precisions and compulsiveness in poor time management and procrastinations. Aversion to following procedure strictly result in lack of standardizations and equality control. So, ang lack of discipline daw ay kanang isang casual na saloobin sa oras na ipinapakita at kawalan ng katumpakan at pagiging mapilit sa hindi magandang pamahala sa oras at pagpapaliban. Ang pag-ayaw daw sa pagsunod sa mga pamamaraan ay mahigpit na nagresulta sa kawalan ng standardization at kontrol sa pagkapantay-pantay. So, standard decision means kanang mga proseso na nagpapatupad at pagbuo ng mga teknikal na pamantayan batay sa pinagkasunduan ng iba't ibang partido at kinabibilangan ng mga kumpanya. Gumagamit grupo ng interes, mga pamantayang organisasyon at pamalan. So, example ani gobyerno. Di ba gobyerno kay mo may nagkuan sa mga tong mga pamamaraan, batas, law, sana sila. So, muna example sa transitions. Then, impatience result in shortcuts, palusot, ningas gukon, lack of discipline often result to inefficient work system, the violation of rules and casual work, ethic lacking. So, ang kawalan daw ng pasyensya ay nagresulta sa mga shortcut o palusot mo na siya, ningas kugon. Ang disiplina ay kadalasan nagresulta sa hindi mausay na mga sistema ng trabaho at paglabag sa mga patakaran at isang casual na etika sa trabaho sa kulang sa pagsunod. So, ningas kugon means isang Filipino na termino para sa tendensya ng mga individual na nagsisimula sa isang bagong gawain nang may labis na sigasig at huminto lamang sa paggawa nito sa lalong madaling panahon. So, if you do not have any goals or aims in life, you tend to drift and do not take any action to improve your life. This can lead to lack of self-discipline. Procrastination is one of the reasons of self-discipline. And isa sa mga reason sa lack of discipline is lack of willpower, lack of motivations, lack of ambitions. Muna ang isa sa pinaka ng kuan sa lack of discipline.
Passivity and lack of initiative. What is passivity and lack of initiative? A passive person lack initiative. They are often overwhelmed by events in their lives. Passivity is a disease. It is like a lid has been placed on the abilities of its victims. Those who are passive are like spectators. They are like people without dreams. They lack the spirit of ambition and dynamism. Passivity and lack of initiative is strong reliance on other high tolerance for efficiency, for service, and even violence of one's basic rights, to patient and long-suffering, to easily resign to one's fate. Filipino are easily oppressed and exploited. Ang halimbawa ng passivity and lack of initiative ay yung mga taong walang inisyatibo, yung hindi nila alam ang gagawin, yung umaasa sa iba. Yan ang mga halimbawa ng passivity and lack of initiative. Colonial mentality, lack of patriotism. A colonial mentality is the internalized attitude of ethnic cultural felt by people as a result of colonization, them being colonized by other group. It corresponded with the belief that the cultural values of the colonizer are inherently superior to one's own. Ang ibig sabihin ng colonial mentality ay ang pag-uugali ng mga Pilipino kung saan mas tinatangkilik nila ang kultura at produkto ng ibang bansa. Ang colonial mentality ay may malaking dulot sa kultura ng isang bansa. Kaugnay nito ang karagdagang detalye tungkol sa ibig sabihin ng colonial mentality. Ang dahilan ng colonial mentality sa Pilipinas ay ang pagiging kolonidad nito ng iba't ibang bansa, kagaya ng Espanya, Estados Unidos at Japan, dahil sa pananakop ng mga ito na impluwensyahan nila ang kultura ng Pilipinas. Ang isang halimbawa ng colonial mentality ay ang pagtangkilik sa mga produkto ng ibang bansa o ang tinatawag na mga imported products.
Number 6. A kanya-kanya syndrome. A Filipino have a selfish, self-serving attitude that generates a feeling of envy and competitiveness towards others. particularly on one's peers who seem to have gained some status or prestige. And next, the talangka mentality is someone who spread malicious rumors, especially in their workplace, about a coworker who is up for a promotion. And it is a negative way of thinking. And as the result of unconstructive criticism, meaning it does not serving to promote improvement or advancement. And as the result, in dampening of cooperative and community spirit, and in the trampling upon others' right.
So from the word lack of self-analysis and reflection, there is a tendency in the Filipino to be superficial and even somewhat flighty. In the face of serious problems, both personal and social, there is a lack of analysis or reflection. Emphasis on forma rather than substance. We Filipino emphasize form rather than substance kay we are just looking at the outer point of someone or something rather than looking at the inner point of someone. So, the emphasis in our civilization and culture unfortunately has increasingly fit one of the form over substance. So often, image and character count more than truth. Humanity is so abstracted in their isolated competition of personal interest and also the enjoyment. So that other people have served as tools for achieving it.
In the previous slides, the weaknesses of the Filipino character has been discussed. We have 8 stated weaknesses of the Filipino character according to a report by Senator Leticia Shahani, a moral recovery program building a people, building a nation in 1998. So those 8 weaknesses were rooted in many factors, meaning those weaknesses can be seen in every aspect of the society. For example, our home. We all know that education starts in our home. We were taught by our parents to do good things, to always be good and stand for ourselves. But what if you were being spoiled at your home? And people that are being spoiled tend to rely on others, meaning you lack of initiative. And it's a weakness. It's not a good thing to rely on others because how are you going to contribute to the better good of the country, or how are you going to prosper as a person if you rely on others? Meaning if you wanted to succeed in life, you are to struggle. You are to fight for the challenges in life in order for you to succeed. So it's a weakness to just rely on others and wait to be successful. For social and economic environment, culture and language, in our society or community today, fake news are everywhere, and most of it were done by chismis, which was very relevant in today's generation. And chismis was stated earlier in the kanya-kanya syndrome or the talangka mentality. And if people will believe in chismis, then our economic environment will not prosper. It will affect our economy as well as our culture and our language. So chismis is not a good thing to do every day because the peace and order of the country will be affected. For history and religion, we all know that religion teaches us to do good things, and our history tends to inspire us to be patriotic. But despite these teachings from religion and history, there are still the lack of discipline, and this is one of the most weakness of the Filipinos today, the lack of discipline. Because if we are disciplined, then we will not face problems in our daily lives. There are a lot of people today that can't even follow simple instructions. We can see that in our classes, in our daily lives, especially now that we face this virus which has implemented a lot of protocols. If we don't follow that protocols, then we will be infected and may cause a lot of deaths. For educational system, mass media, leadership, and role models, these 3 factors can be the key for us to be successful. These 3 factors tends to inspire us or motivate us to aspire a successful life. But it has a weakness because if we lack of self-reflection or self-analysis, this educational system Mass media leadership and role models can be a reason for us to not be successful in life. However, those weaknesses can be changed. Change is possible by the following goals. We have here the sense of patriotism and national pride. If we are patriotic, just like Jose Rizal, our national hero, then we'll be able to turn those weaknesses into our strengths. If we have great devotion or support for our country, then we'll have an easy life here in the Philippines. If we don't make chismis or say negative things to our neighbors, then we'll have a peaceful life. Having a sense of patriotism and national pride means you are proud or feeling good to your country. So those weaknesses can be changed into something positive if we just love our country and our neighbors, and if we wanted peace and order in our country. Change is possible if we have sense of common good, meaning welfare of everyone. If we have this sense in ourselves, then we'll have harmonious community. If we tend to see the good things in everyone and not minding their flaws, then those weaknesses will turn into something positive. If we aspire good things to others, then we'll have a peaceful living. So it is very important to have the sense of common good. Change is possible if we have sense of integrity and accountability. Having a sense of integrity means you are being honest, and honesty is the best policy, right? And if we are being responsible for the things that we do, then everyone will be able to improve their way of life. The value and habits of self-reflection and self-analysis. It is very important to have this self-reflection or self-analysis because this will make us to be critical thinkers. And if we are critical thinkers means we don't easily believe the informations that we get from the internet. Meaning if we are critical thinker, then we'll have to research first or gather more informations to believe in a certain topic or information. So if we have this self-reflection and self-analysis, then we'll be able to avoid fake news.
Value education and school. The Department of Education has its vision to help develop Filipinos who passionately love their country, on whose values and competencies enable them realize their full potential and contribute meaningfully to building the nation. So, meaning, kita nga education ang makatabang sa pagdevelop sa atong value education in school. Unsa maning value education school? Naatay core values, naatay makadiyos, makatao, makakalikasan o makabansa. So, kining core values means mahalagang pag-uugali or importante nga atong kinaiya. So, unsa maning makadiyos? Makadiyos is to respect our religion or other religion. So, meaning, dili lang kay ato ang religion ang ato ang respetuhon. Porket dili ta Katolik, dili siya kuan, at least magrespetuan na ta sa atong religion. Next is makatao. What is makatao? Unsa maning makatao sa kinaiya sa tuwa nga mga Pilipino. Number 1 is to respect all and to help others. Dapat tayong magtulungan para magkaisa. Dili kay magtinabangay pag dinautay, kung dili magtinabangay kung kinsa o unsa ang panginahanglan sa isa. Dapat magtinabangay aron nga magkaisa. Next is makakalikasan. Sa maning makakalikasan? To protect and to love our nature. So dapat manatiling malinis ang ating mga kapaligiran, di ba? Kay kinaiya nato nga mga Pilipino nga dili ta mahimutang kung hugaw ang atong mga palibot. Isa pa, usahay nagapahitabo tag tree planting kay aron maiwasan ang mga baha, igun ana, di ba? And syempre, ang last, makabansa. So, proud ta as a Filipino and also to love other country, di ba? So, dapat na to i-love ang uban nga country. Dili ta musundog sa ilaha kay kita na amantay core values, isip po sa ka mga Pilipino na atay mga kung baga maayo mga pamatasan, kaya naman tayo gisunod nga core values. Pero kung mulabag ta na nga mga batas na to sa atong core values, so meaning, wala ta naka sunod ana or dili ka Pilipino. Kung dili nimo i-apply ang core values nga upat ka buok, makadiyos, makatao, makakalikasan o makabansa. Okay, so next. These are values are very difficult to utilize considering means we have extreme family centeredness. Unsa maning extreme family centeredness? Kani siya matinding sentro sa ato ang pamilya. Kung baga concern ta sa ato ang pamilya always. Example, bisan unsa ka kabisi sa atong trabaho, sa atong business, na adjud tay time sa atong pamilya. Nay uban tungod sa kabisi sa business, wala nay time sa ilahang pamilya. No? So, lisod siya i-apply because we have a reason man po, di ba? What if dili mo trabaho, walay ikagasto? Ikaduha, extreme personalist means the extent to which one is able to relate personally to things and people determines that recognition of their existence and the value attached to them. Means always trying to give personal interpretation to actions. Kung baga, subukan nating magbigay ng aksyon nga dili lamang sa action lang ta kung sa istorya lang. Kung dili, kung ato ang istorya, dapat naapoy buhat. So, ang number 3 is lack of discipline. Kulang sa disiplina. As a Filipino, naatay mga usahay, naatay mga gibawal. Like for example, bawal magtapon ng basura, pero nagtapon ta. Bawal tumawid, pero nitawid ta. Bawal umihi, pero nangihi ta. Muna siya ang example sa lack of discipline. Kulang sa disiplina. Sakit sa Pilipino, nga bisan og nakabalo, buhaton yun. Diba? The next number 4 is passivity and lack of initiative. Passivity means depressed. Example, sa kadaghan sa ginahuna, murag gitagod tungod sa kadaghan sa activities, na depressed ta, that's why mawala ato ang initiative. Sometimes we decide nga magundang na lang kay kulang ta sa initiative. Colonial mentality, example, kana ganing nagagawas nga mga products diri sa Pilipinas, mas ganahan ta sa products sa laing nasod kaysa sa atong products. So dili na mahali ng atong products diri sa Pilipinas kay tungod naanay mga products nga mga nindot, di ba? Dili ta mo ma-proud sa ato ang mga products. Number 6 is syndrome talangka mentality. Means abnormality condition. Talangka mentality, kung baga kana gani siyang kanang naipagdumot, kasina, or even dili magpalupig, dili magpadaog-daog, dapat mulaban gyud. The last is emphasis on forma rather than substance. To emphasize, kanang kumbaga, bisag dili ka okay, magpaka-okay ka. Aron madasig ka nga dili ka masukanon or nindot imong background. Atubangan sa mga tao, magpaka-okay-okay ka, pero ang imong background, dili dayto siya okay. Hugaw day kayo ka og background. Kung unsay nasa imuhang ipakita.
Edukasyon sa mga tao is the basic education curriculum that teaches grade school pupils and high school students character education, moral values, and ethics. It supports the national education goal to provide a well-rounded education that will assist each individual in society to attain his or her potential as a human being and enhance the range and quality of the individuals within the group. And the Philippine school have to intensify values education in the curriculum. The Filipino were all known for having a good characteristic to respect the elders, to always be kind, but these traits are slowly fading. That's why the Philippine school are escalating the values education in the curriculum. The values education was conceptualized in 1987. In 2013, beginning of the K-12 curriculum. Since then, values education was renamed Edukasyon sa Pagpapakatao for grade 1 to 10.
In addition to that, for grades 11 and 12 or in the senior high curriculum, there is no course with the title Values Education or Edukasyon sa Pagpapakatao. But however, there are core courses such as Introduction to the Philosophy of the Human Person and Personal Development are in essence, which means values education. It is values education but it was renamed. In conclusion, values education is important as it allows us to know our strengths and weaknesses and be able to improve them. Values education also helps us students to become more and more responsible. It helps us to understand the perspective of life in a good way and lead a successful life and be a responsible citizen.